Hello, everybody. It's Mahadeva, the OG Thunder Wizard, and today I'm going to share with you the next installment in the Omnipotence series. If you're not familiar with the Omnipotence series, you go to thunderwizard.com and you'll see the Manifestation Mastery course. You can go on there now, and there are free videos available to you, and there's members only videos, and you can watch the first installment, which we've already talked about. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the rules. The rules having to do with how to magically manifest anything you want. Thunderwizard.com Manifestation Mastery course. So I want you to forget everything that you think you know. I don't care where you heard it. I don't care if it was Tony Robbins. I don't care if it was Zohar the Magnificent. I don't care if it was Law of Attraction. I don't care. All of those things have bits and pieces of the truth. This is my experience. So I'm not here just to give you my opinion. I'm here to give you my experience. My experience is that these different teachings and philosophies have bits and pieces of the truth, but there's huge chunks missing. And so if you really want to become Dr. Manhattan, completely manifest anything beyond your wildest imaginations, you have to forget everything you think you know. So in the first video, which we've already posted up there at the thunderwizard.com site, the Manifestation Mastery course, you can see it there, which is available for free. I talked about the components. So the omnipotence interface components. We talked about these 5 components and how important they are. You're not just one being. You're made up of multiple things. And there's far more than just the 5 on this list. But these 5 are the most important for you to understand how they interface. And I talk about that in depth. Your soul, your mind, your personality, your higher self, your intellect, how these have to integrate in order for you to be able to become a Dr. Manhattan manifestation machine. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, how to become this manifestation machine where you literally are able to completely rewrite your program, put yourself back together as this omnipotent being, and to manifest anything that you want. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at today's list. So today we're going to talk about the rules. I've given you the components. Today we're going to talk about the rules. Make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end, because at the end I'm going to tell you where to go to watch another video that I'm going to put up that's going to go in even deeper details about this. So today we're going to talk about the first 3 rules. There's 5 rules you need to know, but I'm going to share with you the first 3. So for that, we take a look at the rules. So 3 rules here. This is the Omnipotence series, first 3 rules. First one is that you are an infinite soul choosing to have a virtual reality experience. I talk about this all the time. If you've been on my channel at all, you've heard me say this over and over again, and that's because this is how you learn. You have to, especially if you haven't been taught or programmed to see and understand and live this truth, then somebody like me has to come along and just repeat it over and over and over again. So let it sink in. You are an infinite soul choosing to have a virtual reality experience. You are not a victim. You are not a created being in the sense that religion wants to tell you, that there's some giant being up there that has all of the power, who has created you, and you have to sit around waiting for your instructions. That's not how it happened. You are an infinite being of light. You are even more powerful than any creator deity that you read about. You are more powerful than that. And so what has happened, though, is that you have chosen to have this virtual reality experience. So this virtual reality experience, if we look back here at the list of the components, is your soul, your eternal self. And your eternal self, which never dies, is your true essence, is infinite, omnipotent, omniscient, beyond three-dimensional space-time. It has these other four helpers. It has this thing called the mind. You have a personality, you have a higher self, and you have an intellect. And all of these things help the soul. Everything that's happening here is about the experience your soul wants to have. And as I've said numerous times, you are infinite, omniscient, you are beyond time and space. You have this little, if we were to look at it, it's this little tiny, infinitely bright. If you couldn't look at your own soul with your human eyes, your human eyes would burn out of their sockets. You wouldn't be able to see your soul. But it's infinitely small and infinitely powerful. It is so powerful that if your soul were to escape your body, without following the rules of the cosmos, and if your soul was just to float around in three-dimensional space-time, it would burn a hole through this universe. So I talk about it, I won't do that here, but ghosts are not people's souls. They're something else. They're your personality that gets squished onto the three-dimensional plane. Your soul is never a ghost, ever. So your soul is what comes down into this human body, and this human body has all of these things to it. The 5 that I talked to you about already, the components. And it needs these components in order to create this manifestation machine, which is you. Your human self walking around. You are a manifestation machine. Whether you realize it or not, you are already manifesting everything. So I have some bad news for you. It's actually good news, but it looks bad on the surface, which is that if you're not happy with your life, if you're miserable, you're poor, you're unhealthy, no love in your life, whatever the heck it is, sick, doesn't matter. These are all your manifestations, but you have bought into the virtual reality game, which wants to convince you that you are this tiny little helpless being in this big universe and you are a victim of circumstance. Now, people ask me, why would somebody do that? Why would a soul choose that? Very simple. Because as I said, the soul is omniscient, omnipowerful, omnipresent, beyond three-dimensional time and space. It lives in bliss. When the soul is outside of this three-dimensional space, it lives in bliss. And there's nothing wrong with that. Trust me, I've experienced it. I had an opportunity a very long time ago. I actually experienced it, and I can promise you it is orgasmically incredibly blissful, and it's very hard to come back after that kind of an experience. But when the soul is living in that intensely orgasmic, blissful state of infinity, everything is easy. The soul wants adventure, it wants fun. So it has chosen to come down into limited three-dimensional reality, which you yourself created, by the way. This matrix, which that is accurate, this Maya, this illusion, you want to call it a computer program, call it whatever you want. It is something that you yourself created so that your soul could have this virtual reality experience. And in order for it to have fun, it needs challenge. Okay? So I've talked about this over and over again. If you say, well, if I'm this infinite powerful being, how come I can't just blah, blah, well, because it wouldn't be any fun. Try playing a video game where you've mastered it and there's just no challenge. It's just no fun. You get bored. Your soul doesn't want to be bored. So it created within this three-dimensional reality, it created this seductive, false illusion that you are this limited being that can't accomplish anything and you are a victim of circumstance. And that then makes it fun for the soul to remember. All right? So we've talked about that a bunch before, but let's take a look here again. You're an infinite soul choosing to have a virtual reality experience. Number 2, you are a manifestation machine. Now, as I said, you are either consciously or unconsciously manifesting everything. I said the bad news is that if you are miserable, you're poor, you're sick, you don't have any love, and I am not minimizing this, trust me. I am not minimizing your challenges and your difficulties. I feel for everybody when they say, this is my last time here, I'm never doing this again, I hate this place, I want out. I understand everybody that wants to escape the matrix. I understand everybody that wants to achieve enlightenment and be free of this challenging life. For many people, this life is a hell. Very challenging hell. The good news of that is that it means that your soul is very strong. But you must wake up to the power that your soul has. You must wake up to your responsibility to manifesting everything. And that's part of the game. You created the game so that there was a real risk that you might forget. Now, bear in mind, you've been incarnating for thousands of lifetimes, which again, you're like, oh my God, I can't do another one of these. But it's not the same. When you're back in your soul knows what it is. Your soul knows I've got infinity, and your soul doesn't mind. It's fun. It's just, again, like playing a video game. Back when I was a kid, we put a quarter in the video game and we played Pac-Man or whatever it was. And when you lost your last man, you stomped and cussed and whatever, and then you pulled your quarter out and you did it again. It was fun. The challenge of losing was fun. You're not feeling that now if you're having a difficult life, but you also know that there are people who don't have as challenging lives as you. You can see that there are people who seemingly things go their way, or they don't have things, they were born into good circumstances, or there are some people that it doesn't matter how many times they fail, they just keep getting up and they go, I know I can do it, I believe in myself, and everything seems to work for them. So if there are some people that can pull it off seemingly more easily than you or better than you, and you're having a more difficult time, it's not because the universe or this three-dimensional life is set out for everybody to fail, because obviously not everybody fails. Some people really succeed. So what does that mean? It means that if they can do it, you can do it. That's the good news. It means that if you've created challenges and difficulty in your life that feels like it's being done to you, I'm telling you it hasn't been done to you. You've done it. You just don't realize how because of your programming. The good news is if you got yourself into it, you can get yourself out. You just have to know the rules, you have to know what the tools are, and you have to take the appropriate action to get this whole manifestation machine up and running. So you are a manifestation machine, and that means that sometimes the machine just isn't turned on. So for a lot of people, it's like that. Imagine people who seemingly, get up and they keep doing it, or things just keep working for them. And I'm telling you, this is my experience. Now, it was not my experience the majority of my life. I'm getting to be older now. I'm coming up. I'm going to be 58 here pretty soon. So I've been on this planet a while. It was not easy. It's easy for me now. And I kid you not, even though I'm still human, I still have my good days and my bad days, but it's nowhere near like it was. And generally speaking, I literally have exactly what I intend. And the only real challenge I have is becoming conscious of what it is that I truly want. And once I do that, and that's literally at this point of the game, that's all I have to do. I know that if I can become conscious, and I ask myself this question almost on a daily basis, what is it that I really want? I have to get really honest about it, because that's the challenge. Sometimes you don't know what you really want. Many of you don't. But if I can become conscious of exactly what it is I truly want, it's guaranteed that I will get it. And that's because of what I talk about in my book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life. Because your soul is infinite, because your soul is in fact God, and because you created the universe, this matrix, this illusion, this three-dimensional hologram that you live inside of in this physical body, because you created it, once you truly know in the deepest essence of your soul what it is you want, you take full responsibility for it, and you take action toward it, the universe must give it to you. Again, this isn't my opinion. I didn't read it in some book somewhere. As I do more studies, I find it popping up in religious teachings other places, but it's absolutely been the truth for me. And everybody who's followed my directions consistently to the letter, it's been their experience also. You can have perfect health, you can have all of the finances and the resources that you need, you can have love in your life, you can just name it. You can have all that stuff, and then whatever it is that you specifically, deeply, truly want, it is guaranteed you'll have it if you understand how it works, you understand what the components of the manifestation machine are, which we talked about in a previous video, and if you know the rules, and then later we talk about the limitations. But today we're going to talk about the rules. If you understand the rules of anything, this is science. Science is the rules of how stuff works. This is a science. Science means knowledge. Objective reality, a body of knowledge having to do with objective reality. This is a science. So if you understand the rules, it's just a no-brainer. All right, so you are a manifestation machine. Perhaps you haven't turned the machine on, or the machine is actually on, but you may not be in control. You may not have your hands on the controls. And so you're just going through life like you're on a car without brakes or steering. You're just watching everything whiz by you. So now you know that if you know what the components are, you know how they fit together, and you know the rules, then you can actually control this manifestation machine, which is you. All right? So let's keep going here. You are a manifestation machine. And I've already said this. The third rule is you can make anything you truly want to come true. All right, so I'm going to tell you the good news and the bad news. Should we start with the bad news first? The bad news is that there's a good chance, if you're listening to me and you don't understand what I'm saying, you don't believe it's possible, you've tried everything. I hear this all the time. I used to say it. I've done everything. I've tried everything. I work really hard. I'm a good person. I've gone to all of the law of attraction, I've gone to the Tony Robbins. I've done the spiritual thing. I've done all of the meditations. I've done all I've done all the stuff. I've done all the mantras flying around, and I've done the positive affirmations. I've literally done everything you say, but nothing has worked out for you yet. And so you're at your wit's end. And here I am, just another person telling you can manifest anything you want. Well, that's why I said you got to forget everything you think you know, because most of it is either incomplete or completely inaccurate, or it's got some truths, but the majority of it might not be true. Law of attraction is a big one. Law of attraction has tiny bits of truth sprinkled here and there, but truth is that it's incomplete. Same thing with name it. Nothing wrong with Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins is the same thing. You go, you get hyped up, you do the thing, but if you don't have an understanding of the components, if you don't have an understanding of the rules, and if you don't know what it is you want on the deepest level of your soul, you're going to fail. So that's the bad news. Good news is everybody on the deepest level of their unconscious mind knows exactly what they want. So if you're sitting here thinking, well, you know what you want, Mahadeva, but you don't think, you talking to me saying that, but you don't think you know what you want, and you're worried about that, I don't know what to do anymore. Well, I can understand that desperation. I can understand that feeling. But I take you through, there's multiple ways that I do that. You can go to career.thunderwizard.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, and I teach you exactly what to do to figure out what you want. Sometimes that's challenging for people. I do private sessions where within an hour session, I so far have been able to help every single person who's had a session with me. I've helped every single one of them figure out exactly what their soul desire is. Them following through on it, that's out of my hands. But everybody on the deepest level knows exactly what they want. I'll tell you another secret. If you are somebody that does not know what they want on the deepest level, it's because you have been programmed to shame yourself out of it. It means that on an unconscious level, you know what it is that you want, but you don't feel that you deserve it, or worse, you feel that if you got exactly what you want, that it would be dangerous and it might harm your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. And so that guilt, that shame, is enough to block you from your true soul desire. That's where people like me come along. This is why I take apprentices. If you go to thunderwizard.com, you'll see the apprenticeship program. And I work with people one-on-one, but you don't have to work with me because psychologists do this. Life coaches, mentors, spiritual teachers, they all do the same kind of thing, which is to help you get past all of that pre-programmed negativity and get to the truth. Wake up, become woke to who you really are. And that can be done. Everybody listening to me can do that because that is your destiny. So the bad news is that many of you may not know what it is you truly want. And so even if you have some access to the components of the manifestation machine, even if you know some of the rules, if you're trying to manifest something that isn't what you truly want, then you run the risk of either getting inconsistent results, or you'll get what it is you're trying to manifest and then you'll lose it, or you may just end up with a goose egg. That was pretty much my scenario. It's like no matter what, I just nothing. I ended up with nothing. And I really wanted to believe it. There was a part of me that knew that what they were talking about, there was some truth, maybe not exactly how they were saying it, but there was this truth to the idea that I really have this ability to manifest anything I want. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. So maybe this person knows, or Zohar the Magnificent, channeling the aliens. Maybe they know, maybe. But thankfully I was able to figure it out, and I'm here to share that with you. So let's take a look again at the rules here. The rules of the Omnipotence series about how to manifest absolutely anything you truly want. Number 3, you can make anything you truly want to come true. So that's the key. You have to know what it is you truly want. People go to Law of Attraction seminars and they make vision boards, which, by the way, vision boards are great. The problem is sometimes they're trying to vision something they don't truly want, and they don't know that. Because a lot of people, like myself, who are attracted to these kinds of philosophies, law of attraction, etc., etc. A lot of people are attracted to them because they don't have the money. They don't feel safe in this universe. They don't feel that the universe is nurturing them and giving them what they want. They don't feel, especially on a deep unconscious level, like they deserve it. And so you want to find some trick so you can trick the universe. A lot of people treat the law of attraction that way, like it's some kind of hack that you trick the universe into giving you stuff that they don't feel that they deserve. That, if you're not conscious of that, it becomes challenging. And so if you have this guilt or this shame on an unconscious level, even on a conscious level, telling you that you don't deserve it, and you come up with what you think you want, because most people, the first thing they think of is money and love. These are the two things that everybody wants more of. They want more money and more love. And so they think, and people think this a lot, I find this a lot with people, if they just had enough money, then they'd go do what they want. They have a session with me and I say, let's talk about what it is you truly want. And they say, well, I can't do what I truly want now. I have to have the money to do it. So I need to do this crappy job, or I need to do this, or I need to win the lottery, or I need to figure out how to make millions in the stock market and all of that. And then when I have the money, then I can go do what I truly want. And of course I roll my eyes and throw my hands up and I say, that's not how it works. And so some people, as they're trying to manifest everything, they're manifesting what they don't truly want. Because if you're operating from fear, which is what happens when people who they're broke and they're living in a studio apartment, or they're living in their mom's basement, or whatever the heck it is, and they want to, get out of that. And they have all this shame about not having any money, and they want to be successful and all. So the first thing they do is they want to have a lot of money. They think that's success. And so they'll bring their vision board, and we'll have a vision board of a giant, 10-bedroom house and 6 cars. And, they think, okay, that's what I'm going to start with that. I'm going to make $1 million. But as I've said many times, look at the majority of people who win the lottery, especially like people, poor people living, in a double wide somewhere. They win the lottery. They win millions of dollars. And what happens? A few years later, they're broke again. They're worse than they were before. Except this time they have a drug addiction, or they have gambling debts, or something even worse. So the money isn't it. Yeah, the only thing that matters is what you truly want. Then everything comes together. All right? So those are the first 3 of the 5 rules there. Let's look at them one more time. You are an infinite soul choosing to have a virtual reality experience. If you don't start with that assumption, everything else you do on top of that will be a waste of time. You have to have the proper base assumption about who you are and your relationship to the universe. And because if you don't, every other conclusion you come to will be inaccurate or incomplete. That's the most important thing. You are an infinite soul choosing to have a virtual reality experience. You don't have to like it. You don't have to understand it. Just accept that. Just accept that reality and move on. Second, you are a manifestation machine. You have to look at your body with the brain, the nervous system, the nerves, the energy centers, the chakras, the 3 dantians, the energy meridians in the body. All of those things, this is literally a manifestation machine. There's a reason why our ancestors believed in magic. There were wizards, and there were witches, and there was, sorcerers. There's a reason for that. Because they understood that they were these manifestation machines. You have to turn that on. How to do that? We'll talk more about that. But you have to accept that your physical body is a manifestation machine. And when you understand it, and it's already doing it, it manifests everything in your universe. And number 3, you can make anything you truly want to come true, but you have to Know what it is you truly want, not what you think you want based on your fears or based on your programming. I'm not minimizing that either. That can be a challenging thing, but trust me, everybody has been given the ability. And so just accept that. You don't have to feel it now. You don't have to trust it. You don't have to, none of that. Unlike the law of attraction, which tells you you have to have the proper feeling to have something. I'm telling you, you don't have to feel, you don't have to believe anything I'm saying. You don't have to feel it. Accept it as a truth and take action based on that assumption, and you're going to see some changes. So, in order to see the 4 and 5, which you see these giant question marks, I am going to save that for people who are absolutely, truly committed. I only want to work with people who are totally committed to their ultimate happiness and success. And if you are, then I want you to go up here to thunderwizard.com, click around until you see the Manifestation Mastery course and subscribe. You will have access not only to all of the, I don't even know how many, I think there might even be, tens if not hundreds of videos in the Manifestation Mastery course. You will not be able to get through all of those videos in a month, for sure. It'll take you months to comb through all of those videos. So go there and subscribe. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. Big deal. I recommend everybody subscribe to the 90-day, to the Warrior 90-day Lightning Qigong, because that is the power behind the machine. Now, you don't have to do that. You can do everything I'm talking about without having to do this, but I recommend it. I won't spend time talking about it now. You can go and check those out. Go to Warrior 90-day Lightning Qigong, and I recommend subscribing there. That'll give you access not only to the Lightning Qigong, which is the power of all of it, but you'll have access also to the Manifestation Mastery course and the Shamanism Mastery course. All right? It's up to you. Whatever works for you, there's multiple levels there for you to subscribe at. If you want to see the rest of the list here, which, to understand the rules, you're going to need to understand 4 and 5, then go and subscribe now, and you'll have access to the rest, to the second part of this video, which is the rules of the Omnipotence series. All right? Thank you so much for your time. I will see you over there.